Tommy and Cheese Wallhouse Seminar. I am Milton, son of a carpenter. My dad a carpenter, worked on skyscrapers. Mom Marianne. I am the son of a carpenter and Mary. I get to tell parables. And let me jump right into this one. It's about Tommy, the no-arm Chinese fella. He lost both arms being blindly obedient. His boss, Wu, gave him a test of management. Told him to stick his right arm into a wood chipper, a live running wood chipper. Tommy's always been blindly obedient. He slowly fed that right arm in, the left arm, lefty. I saw what was going on with the right arm, and I jumped off. It's a wise thing to do. No matter what is happening to somebody or something that resembles you being the left arm and them being the right arm, and they're getting chipped up, don't let it happen to you. Excuse me. Remember, my parables can often be wrapped in symbolism. Tommy got a promotion. He also won his girlfriend's heart. He's bossing a whole lot of folks around. And this particular parable starts with a nightmare, one that Tommy has been having repeatedly. He's at work and he's sent all of his workers out to do stuff. He's bossing them around. And he runs out of soda. He had Ching. He had Ching, get him a soda with the straw before he went, and he figured, no problem, I'll just go out to the soda machine and get me another soda. He ran out of soda as he's watching the Three Stooges in his office there, and the soda machine's out. So he goes to the water cooler and he leans down to get some water, puts his foot on the pedal, and yes, the water cooler turns into a wood chipper, grabs his tongue, and Tommy is a kind of a cartoon series, you can call it that. And you've seen that stuff. They get their head stuck in something and they're trying to pull out, and Tommy pulls out and his tongue has been chipped up, looks exactly like a snake's tongue, split down the center. And he's back on the dance club floor of the snake pit where he won Rhea, his girlfriend's heart. And she's not having any of him this time. She won't pay attention to him at all. She's dancing with this fella, and Tommy keeps snaking his way in between Rhea and whoever she's dancing with, and she keeps saying, get away. She pushes him out of the way. That's when he wakes up and Rhea's shaking him. She says, you got to go to that seminar, that Wallhouse seminar. And he's just sticking his tongue out at her, and she says, stop doing that. Ching's already out front with the car. He wants to take you to the seminar. And it's a Wallhouse seminar, and he meets an old friend there because the speaker for the morning is missing. He's late. So he and she, I hope I'm pronouncing it's Chinese, she, S-H-I, she, an old friend from Chinese misfit school, get to talking, and she tells him, what are you doing, what he's doing, and he asks what Tommy's doing. As you can tell, I kind of just threw this together. And I'm going to give you a little bit of history of the son of Carpenter Mary Melton. In the process, he had dad as a carpenter, come from a street family, a whole lot of folks being each and every one in my family but me. And dad, the carpenter, and yes, Blue Light Dad is one of the carpenters, taught me how to throw lightning bolts and all that. My fun little streets, unseen business kind of stuff here. I always tell you where it ends. Pick up that phone, 424-229-4140. You got the timestamp on your phone, you got the number dial. Make that video whatever you get when you don't get me and post it. 424-229-4140. And yes, 4260 Eagle Rock Boulevard, Apartment 409, Los Angeles, California, 90065. Certify your mail to me. That's fact, guys. You have to assume everything I'm telling you is either fire and brimstone, it's fun stuff, it's off the wall stuff, it's funny stuff. And it's to get you to pick up that phone and see if your family's lifeline isn't working. I've been asking for 93 checks for a decade. Here's all my contact information. Certify your mail, make a video, but first it's not gonna reach me. Make a video of stolen mail. No FedEx, no UPS. Make that video, post that video. Whatever you get when you don't get me, John Melton Brady. Post and repost these big fives. Whatever boring thing you get, phone ringing, every minute's a business signal. It's not gonna be boring. You need firemen, police, paramedics. And every time you call up other customers, countless others, and you get that boring thing, it's your Gates livelihood, it's your hijacked livelihood as well. But yeah, the main thing is your hijacked lifeline. Whatever boring thing you get when you don't get me, it's not going to be boring when you need a fireman, a police, paramedics. And it's going to be just as newsworthy as me, John Melton Brady, asking for a 93 check for a decade, not getting one. Yeah, I got some new fives, the same thing as those, I think. Flight 93, Vote Dash Truth. And I hope to cut them out, cut the green part off. That prepares it as a 4x6 photo. And have it in a laminated sheet like that. I've been using it forever. I need to cut it out and I'll show you those like I show you this. Post and repost and print those out, 15 cents. Give or take a nickel for this. Tell everyone. Make that video. We're making a video of crime, organized crime that can place a cowardly Hussein in a White House right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins with 9/11. It also places the buffoon Trump guy in there. I don't play favorites. Truth is my favorite. Enough of the serious stuff. I'm 7 minutes in and I haven't told you anything about Dad. I'm moving the family down to Monroe, Louisiana when I was about 2 years old. Yes, I was born in 1967, this time around. And Dad was born in Mississippi. Grew up in Mississippi, had like 10 other siblings, brothers and sisters. And his sister was married to a doctor in Monroe, Louisiana. And Dad moved the family. I didn't get to, just on summer vacations, I get to see Dad on those skyscrapers. Moved up from Monroe, Louisiana, and spent a brief time living by the, I'm told, Walnut Street, over by the Washita River, and then got moved once again before my time, but before I was old enough to remember stuff this time around. Moved to exactly where the president of the Northeast Louisiana University house was, just a little bit over a small house. Oh, right there right now is a nice big building, a nice new library they put up, and now they call Northeast Louisiana University. I'm having trouble with those blue-eyed DNA, fighting it out with a brown-eyed DNA. Vocal cords today. Right there on the bayou, for a brief period of time, they told me I had a sandbox there. But they put up a nice new library there. Had plans to build it, and they built it, and yes, right across the bayou was Dad Hall, 10-story male dormitory, and they took that down a little after they finished building the library, the new library, if I remember correctly. But only lived a brief time on campus there, then moved to where I remember growing up. 3809 Blanks, just a few blocks from Northeast Louisiana University and a few blocks from Bayou Désiré. And it's a job to know all about this because just like Tami is in charge of erasing Hussein's past, Barack Hussein Obama, his connections to his dad. I'm assuming it's true because I've been talking about that Osama rumor that Barack Hussein Obama is Osama bin Laden's son. Been talking about it for years, and I haven't gotten one comment. I didn't start the rumor; I just picked it up. And Tommy's in charge of erasing Hussein's very real past, his connections to Saudi Arabia, to terrorist groups in the Mideast. And yeah, I always say, forget about that, guys. You pick up your phone right now. 424-229-4140. Where the fun stuff ends, the Osama rumor ends, and you see Osama's son hijacking a lifeline. Me not getting a 9-3 check for a decade, and I guarantee it's going to be just as newsworthy if your phone is not allowed to work when you need the firemen to place paramedics because you're a Christian. They displaced Hussein. It's a Muslim name, guys. They displaced a cowardly Hussein in a White House right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. Didn't look right, wasn't right. Make a video if you want real leaders in the real world. I don't approve of the buffoon Trump either. Yeah, the wrestling guy. Once again, enough of the serious stuff. He explains to Tommy all about that and how he's supposed to, just like Tommy, he looks for videos with Hussein's connections to the Mideast, and he erases them from the internet, YouTubes and all that. Chi, in my fun, street stuff, he is in charge of, making sure nobody's talking about stuff from Melton's past. Stone Cold Melton, son of Corporate Mary. And he says it's not just, he says to Tommy, it's not just the obvious stuff. And I'm going to have to do my sugar check, so it's already up to 12 minutes. It's not just the obvious stuff like asking around if anybody had video of Melton going for a walk on the bayou. Back in the 80s they had camcorders. They didn't have, everybody's phone didn't have videos like this one does, but they had camcorders, and before that, even in the 70s into the 60s, they had home movie cameras. So she is kind of looking into that, and if a Melton ever went back for seconds at the cafeteria line without going back for seconds at the cafeteria. You get the kind of fun thrown together humor. I could have done that better, couldn't I? I'll work on it for the next Tami parable. And yes, also questions like, is anybody in his neighborhood at Blank Street ever seen a priest with a tall hat going into 3809 Blanks? The things that she is in charge of looking into, and he explains to Tommy it's not just about the stuff that's obvious like that. It's about what they might have had in mind. The streets can have something in mind, and they don't always have to be as obvious about it. For example, he says Melton's mom worked for a florist for 4 years, and I took 2 out. And that would be helpful for Melton. Supposedly he wants to, I didn't put the other one on. He wants to paint some flowers. That'd be helpful to have a florist, a mom who delivers. It didn't happen like that back then, but it would be helpful now to know somebody who's a florist or who delivers flowers, because this is a sidewalk flower. Photo taken of a flower by the side of the sidewalk, and you see what I do with that. And yes, I've never had the ability to paint, so I certainly couldn't have painted flowers back when Mom was delivering flowers. Very Another case of taking a picture of a flower in a public place somewhere. And that I call that the Christ complex flower. It looks kind of like a dome to me, with the little white parts, balconies and that kind of thing. Inspiration for building Jesus' Immaculate House. When you see someone besides me in this flower, a whole lot of other flowers, skyscrapers in my imagery, we started doing that. Be a part of it. Make a video. Built on truth. Your high-tech lifeline. Your family's high-tech lifeline. Post it. 424-229-4140. Make that first video, that first brick of truth. Come see me in person. Put yourself in that imagery. Now back to she telling Tommy, it's like that. He's just giving him a for instance, and he says also his dad, he'll move whole family from Chicago 250 to the Windy City to hell, hot as hell, rainy as anything, Louisiana. And because his sister, and his sister is married to a doctor, and moved down here, and yes, she goes on to explain that a friend of the family was an architect, so if they were planning to, he explained, a whole lot of change in the Catholic streets, unseen visits, are fun fixing, guys. A whole lot of change since the 70s, even the 60s, before I can remember. And he said, they actually knew a nice architect friend of the family, and that actually worked on his house out in Lakeshore somewhere. Now, once again, photos of flowers by the side of the road. Now, some of those, the big yellow flower with red and that I actually bought. I've done that recently. Plan to do that again. But it would be helpful to have somebody who works in a florist business to get anything out of this video to get me photos so I can work on that. Now she goes on to say, I'm going to show you those eyes. I always get my eyes in. Show the eyes, genetic carpentry. Don't have blue light. Dad himself taught me how to do this. Don't try it on yourself, and don't try it yourself. And yes, if you're a doctor, come tell me what's going on with them. As she says, Owen Jethro Brady did a lot of work with the Catholic schools, for the Catholic schools. He built the bleachers at St. Frederick's, where I went to high school, on the other side of 165 from NLU back then. Oh, here's some of those flowers I bought. That's not. And he says, who knows what they were planning back in the day, and it never got off what they had in mind. Tommy is now in charge of Stone Cold impersonators of my fun stuff here. Remember, if you make videos of folks claiming to be me, that's fraud. Make sure, just like you make that video, timestamp on your phone and number dial, you make videos, especially of those in public authority figures who are introducing you to impersonators. That's fraud in the way of building of Jesus' house. And she tells them, he's in charge of looking through the past there and finding out anybody hear anything on the streets, the unseen business. Maybe your dad was talking, you went to school with Melton, you were hearing about something, you talked about something. And he goes on to explain not just about the building of a big house and a framework that might have been put in place back in the 70s, 1970s. Not just that, but stuff that wouldn't mean anything to Melton or anybody else, perhaps. Folks who went to every Friday morning, those Friday morning with Father Moore at church services for the whole school, even us non-Catholics, and also didn't really have that as much. With St. Frederick, didn't have a kind of a on-premises father there, but did have the convent and the nuns there. And she goes on to say, Also, you know, what the streets, you don't see business, you don't even call it that. What they might not have talked about, might have talked about. Did you see, for example, she gives an example of what he might ask subtly of folks. You see a difference. You've gone to Catholic church service all your life. From the Sunday church service topics of sermons or whatever, what they didn't really talk about during the Friday or during the religion class. Did anybody ever notice anything out of the ordinary? Or even not religion class? He's in charge of that. And yes, it's me, Milton, making something about nothing. But yeah, it becomes something when you pick up that phone. 424-229-4140, and you see actual folks. The devil. Great Wall of Chinese Evil is what I call it. Hijacking lifelines tried to call me. 424-229-4140. And as I read, up to 21 minutes. So I hope to get a touch on these topics again better. Explain what I'm trying to say, maybe give specific examples of what she might be asking. And let me see if I can get. I had it a while ago. I was working on it, as I'm designing my imagery. Perhaps this is an actual Bible passage. If I'm doing my Son of God and Mary stuff, I would say, well, I don't like to read the Bible because it's often, so watered down. You don't usually have a lot of stuff left out. But, for example, if you might have seen a verse discussed in the religion class or just casually by folks who know the Bible, and they say about so-and-so who had Jesus restore his sight, and he saw the world with different colors. Yeah, it might be a reference to genetic carpentry, and yeah, I'm working on it myself, trying to get the brown-eyed DNA out of the way and the blue-eyed DNA going, and it's up to 22 minutes. I haven't developed this as much as I would like to. Hopefully I'll get to it in the future. Remember, like that video, your hijack lifeline. Just try to call me, 424-229-4140. There's no reason for anybody to hijack a call to somebody talking something about nothing. Somebody who's been asking for 93 checks. 9/11 Flight 93 checks for a decade and hasn't gotten one. And you can't reach him by phone, and he's telling you it's not going to be news. Same way I've been asking for a decade now. Not going to be news if your family's lifeline because you're a real Christian. It's not allowed to work, or you're not the big name in your business. You live in the wrong town. If it is not allowed to work, it's not going to be newsworthy, just like me asking for a 93 check. You make a video, timestamp on your phone, number dial. Do that. Make a video of truth right now. You trying to call me? Come see me in person. And look for more of this in the future. I didn't get to half of what I wanted to talk about, and I'm still, working on building that domed home, Jesus' Immaculate House, or Milton's domed home. You don't have to call it Jesus' Immaculate House. It's a house it's opportunity for a whole lot of folks from all kinds of backgrounds. Oh man, to be a part of building a better world. Opportunity. But yes, there will be a test at the end, so I have to tell you it's Jesus' Immaculate House, just like I have to tell you this is Jesus' question. Is Barack Hussein Obama a terrorist? I ain't get 193 check. 9/11 Flight 93 check. See that phone? That's every child in America's lifeline to the firemen, the police, paramedics. Didn't get one of those in a decade of asking. So, yeah, see that phone is every child in America's lifeline. Make a video being hijacked. Post it. Come see me in person. Have wit will travel. Showing the perfect place to build Jesus' Immaculate House here on earth. And if you're on your way to do that and you get distracted by a Chinese man with no arms, just walk right past him. And yeah, pick up your phone. they make videos nowadays, and whatever you might have to say about, oh, I don't turn that on, it disrupts the flashlight. You don't have to worry about making the evening news. If you anything I talked about there kind of sparked a memory. You don't have to, you don't have to worry about making the evening news unless it's supposed to be there. If it's supposed to be there, yeah, I'm here. 51 years and counting, and the past 10 years plus, I've been asking for a 93 ticket, haven't gotten one, and nothing's happened to me. I'm commonly pacing, waiting for you to come tear down the Great Wall of Evil, start building Jesus' Immaculate House with these rebuilding guys already up to 26 minutes. I got to hurry. And yet it seems whiter and a little more raised at times. That brown part can seem more white. Oh, the past year I've been taking vitamins, and that has helped with that. You know what's going on with that? Come see the handsome bald guy. If your grandma was, or grandpa was talking about something back in the 70s, and then you don't know what happened to it, you can pick it up your own way. Come tear down the Great Wall of Evil has just me, the handsome bald guy, alone in my imagery with these flowers. And let's get started on those 1,000 points of light. Build Jesus' Immaculate House upon the rubble of the Great Wall of Evil has just me in all of this. And yes, place that cowardly Hussein in our White House right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. Come see me. Let's get started.